Holy moly.
I'm about to take the Grom on a massive adventure and I'm going to take you guys with me. So what's the plan? So it is my nan's birthday in a couple of days and she lives in a small town called Llanidloes in mid-Wales. I'm going to take a couple of days to meander my way up there. First stop is Rhayader, which I'm going to go to today, which is about 120-ish miles away. Promises to have some really beautiful byways, and I've been there before. It is a really beautiful place, so we're going to go and explore there today. I've got some accommodation booked in Rhayader tonight, and then tomorrow I'm hopefully going to explore some more byways and some beautiful scenery, and then head to my nan's in Llanidloes. So let's see how the pretend adventure bike gets on a very real adventure. So far, absolutely blessed with the weather. I thought it was going to be a sog fest. I've got very thick waterproofs with me. It's quick bit about my nan, actually. She raised me from 9 to 15, so she means a lot to me. She used to live in Bristol, and when she did, her favourite cider was Natch, and she can't get it where she is now, so I'm going to deliver her some Natch for her birthday, and hopefully she's stoked about it. Let's hit the road. I will show you the full-blown adventure spec trim the Grom is in at the moment. So here she is. If you watched the last video, you'd know that we've got some off-road mods. I've got the bash plate on the bottom. I've got the Maxxis 6024 tyres. I've got handguards, courtesy of a Honda GB350. And what you might not have seen is my full luggage setup. So I'll probably make a video about it, but Rhino Walk tail bag on a small, cheap rack. Chemimoto panniers, they are absolutely stuffed with, you know, a few pairs of underpants, snacks, waterproofs, tools. And that is pretty much it. This is the bike and adventure spec. I removed the crossbar from the handlebars to make my quad lock a little bit more visible, which I think is going to benefit me nicely. But there's nothing left to do it but to do it. Alright, it says our ETA is 1:45. We're obviously going to stop a few times. Let's hit the road. I think the order of the day today will be to really try and make the most of this weather, because tomorrow and Saturday promise to be a lot worse. So in my head, what would be really nice today is to get to Rhayader early afternoon, and then if we could get a chance to check out one of the main byways in Elan Valley, which is the one that goes around the reservoir. Can't remember what the reservoir is called, but it'd be nice to hit that one. And then when the sun goes down, I will be retreating to my hotel for a little bit of R&R. We've also got a very interesting sort of question to answer. Obviously, most bikers would do a trip like this on like a GS or something like that, or like a proper adventure bike. And obviously, those are absolutely fantastic tools for this kind of job. But are little bikes like the Grom, are they excluded from this kind of adventure, or can you make it work? I already know the answer. I know that you can make it work because I've been doing it for some time now, but hopefully in this video we'll get a chance to demonstrate the new prowess now that it's got a bit of capability off-road. For now, let's get out of this built-up area and chase the countryside. So it wouldn't be an adventure bike ride if we weren't doing a bit of off-road, would it? And this route that I'm on just so happens to run into one of my favourite byways, so I think it would be rude not to hit it, especially with the weather like this. Haven't got my waterproofs on yet, so easy does it. I don't want to be getting super soaked on the one day of this trip where it's not supposed to rain. This really does make it feel like such proper adventure. The bike feels slightly different with all the weight on it, actually. I'm a little bit more geared up than I would normally be as well, obviously, because I'm doing a bit of a longer journey. Although, I haven't even got my jacket on at the moment because it's so warm. Normally I bomb through here at like 35, 40, but not today. We need to not hurt the bike, and more importantly, not hurt ourselves, because we've got a job to do. I need to get that cider to my nan for her birthday, man. Oh, what the hell? What the hell? What scumbags are doing this? That's so sad. What was that? That's... oh god. Shouldn't be really like riding through that. Oh, I love these roads. Feels like I'm the only person here. Acceleration on the Grom. Let's go. Mountains of caca on the floor. Or is it just mud? I don't know. This lane is almost off-road, man. You wouldn't be too stoked about going down this on your sports bike or something like that. Look how beautiful it is though. This is Wiltshire, guys. Wiltshire is it's a beautiful place. Good thing about doing these kind of roads on a bike like this is that it keeps you in check, because like one section may be beautifully smooth and like, whoa, super fun corners and stuff, And before you know it, there's a big old pile of mud or cowpat in the middle of the road. And, you know, the Grom stops those speeds from being life-threatening in most instances. I am feeling so absolutely blessed with the weather at the moment. It's really unbelievable, although I know it's not here to stay, but it is bloody good. This is the mildest November I can ever remember, honestly. And I have been making the most of it. I'll tell you that for free. Right then, gang, let's have a sit rep. So, I'm about an hour and a half in. I'm just over 50 miles in, passing through Gloucester. The Grom is doing tremendously well. It's mostly A and B roads with speed limits of like 40, 50, some 60s. There's a few, as I came into Gloucester, there's a few dual carriageways, but all the speed limits are well within the Grom's remit, so it's been absolutely fine. My water bottle hasn't flown off, which I'm happy about, but I do now have a muddy spout to contend with. I got these, check out these glasses. So I haven't tried these yet. These are an old pair of glasses. I replace the arms and put cable ties on them because they are broken anyway, to hopefully stop headaches. So, hour and a half. Let's see what we can do. I'm all wrapped up, nice and warm. Got my jacket on now. Let's hit the road. Is he going to go in that bit there, I wonder? Thank you very much, sir. Hey guys, just a quick stop. I'm on a road called the A44 and it is absolutely beautiful. I've ridden it a couple of times before and I'm absolutely amazed every time. You gotta have your wits about you a bit on this road because there's lots of like water drainage and stuff on it, so you just need to be careful. Some bits have been resurfaced, some bits haven't, but it is absolutely beautiful. Coming through, sheep, coming through. We are in the Elan Valley. Now, it's time to find the reservoir and hit the byway. We are still chasing that sun, but it hasn't gone down yet. I'll hook up back with you guys once we are ready to go on the byway, or near it at least. Oh, look at this, guys. This is sublime. I have found the reservoir. Look at that! Look at that! It's incredibly beautiful, man. Look at this! Look at this insane picturesque beauty. Hang on, let me just pull up over here. Look. Look at that. Oh my god. Oh. Let's go. Insane. This is where the byway starts, I think. Let's get in the lay-by a minute. I think it starts down there, but I need to check. Holy moly. What an insane view. That's the byway. Let's go. No time for dilly-dallying. Just time for action. Alright, we got it. Let's go. Yeah, this is where George said it started. I remember it was there. Oh my god. Suspension was not ready for that bottom out. Holy shit, boys. Holy shit. Oh, I don't want to be that guy that's like taking loads of photos, but it's just insane.
One eternity later.
Alright, we're just gonna potter along this one because we don't want to be causing any issues. Remember, dog, just pottering, taking in the absolutely insane scenery. No falling off, no silly buggers. Pretty speechless, honestly. Might think I'm being a bit of a wuss for these puddles, but my boots are waterproof and the front suspension really is bad, so if I hit anything violently it bottoms out instantly and it's like, yeah, it's a horrible sensation. Look at the friggin' scenery, dude. This little bridge. Craziness. Absolutely sublime views. I seem to be the only person here as well, which is absolutely amazing. Whoa. It's quite deep though, jeez. This is just insane. Look at it, man. What a beautiful, beautiful place. Where is everybody? Because they're not here. There is definitely something to be said for how light and unintimidating and accessible the Grom is. There's just nothing scary about taking it off-road. Like, I turned it around a minute ago. Oh, I got to show you guys the view quick. Yeah, I turned it around a minute ago and it was like really easy and like not stressful, and I was just thinking if I was on a big adventure bike it would be pure stress. Look at that. Beautiful way. Yeah, and there's something about that innocence that keeps the bike fun. I don't mean to harp on about how great the Grom is, because it does have its shortcomings, and to be honest, at the moment I do feel like I'm ready for more. I think I was ready for more a long time ago. It's not necessarily ready for more, but like I would get use out of a machine that has more capability, because any like bike that I buy, or anything that I buy really, it needs to kind of earn its keep in the stable, because you know money is limited. So the problem I've got really is that I want a baby adventure bike, but I really don't want to get rid of the Grom. Like, it's such a good bike. I hope to show you guys with this little trip that like it doesn't really matter what bike you've got, you can do whatever you want with it really. I hear people say that they don't want to do like long trips because they've got a 125, which is fair, because in certain scenarios they're not very good, like dual carriageways and stuff, but you get that bike on a bunch of like B roads and it's perfect. You just got to plan your trip accordingly. Look at this, man. I'm doing this on a Grom. I'm like really far from home right now. I can certainly see why people do like round the world trips on like postie bikes and like old Honda Cubs and stuff like that, because it's just so, bikes like this are so sprightly and they're so unintimidating and they're just so fun. Doubt we're allowed up there. Whoa, struggling for traction there. This is so good. Look at this, we're chasing the sun. It's like the edge of the universe. Can't see. Oh man, this is fucking so good. Oh, scared the shit out of the sheep. Sorry, sheep. Oh shit, that was almost an off then. No grip. That's deeper than it looks, that puddle. Holy shit, yeah, it is deeper than it looks. Fucking hell, Dom. That was sick. Hit it a bit slower if I hit it again. Oh, sun setting over that hill there. Am I allowed through this gate? That's the question. I just don't know. It doesn't say private property or anything, does it? I'm assuming the big close the gate sign means that it's okay to be here. The middle of bastard nowhere here. Sheepy is... That's a lamb. That's just a babby. He's chasing. He's faster than me. You're beating me. So... No public vehicle right of way beyond this point. Ah. Okay. That answers it then. That's the end of it. What a beautiful ride it was here, and what a treat it is to be here. I don't really have any words now, to be honest. It's about 3 hours in the saddle to get here today, and it was nothing really. On the Grom, it's completely fine. Just catered the roads to it, and it's perfect. I've been hankering for an adventure for a while now, and I think the problem is that we've overcomplicated life a lot as humans. Like, it's funny how just like being outside in nature resets everyone. And we think that's like a groundbreaking discovery. Of course it does. You know, we're just bloody animals at the end of the day.